Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. I want you to do something a little unconventional for a second. Imagine just completely stripping away your bedroom walls. Picture the ceiling dissolving into this massive canopy of ancient stars, and that incredibly soft modern bed you sleep in, imagine it turning back into the cool, firm surface of the earth. Today, we're doing a total breakdown of human rest, and we're going to completely reframe everything you thought you knew about a good night's sleep.
Because, there is a pretty stark contrast between the sleep we know today and the sleep of our ancient ancestors. On one side, we've got our modern reality, right? We're isolated in rooms, elevated off the floor, usually sinking into all these layers of springs and memory foam. But on the flip side, we have the grounded, totally natural sleep of early humans. They didn't punch out for the day and walk over to a piece of furniture. They literally just returned to the ground. Their bodies naturally found this neutral balance right against the stability of the soil.
Now, I really want you to think about this number, 300,000. For nearly 300,000 years, resting directly on the Earth wasn't some weekend camping trip, it was literally the universal human experience. Our modern beds, seriously, they're just a microscopic blink of an eye in the grand story of our species.
Section 1. The missing 90%, our forgotten history.
So, when we actually look at human history through this lens, it's a massive shift in perspective. For the vast, overwhelming majority of our time on this planet, we're talking 90% of our history. Our ancestors didn't use furniture at all. The ground was our bed. It's absolutely crucial to understand that our bodies evolved to rest, not by sinking into artificial softness, but by physically connecting with the actual landscape.
Section 2. Engineering Ancient Comfort. The first beds.
Now, you might hear sleeping on the ground and immediately picture roughing it in the dirt, just throwing yourself down wherever you happen to stand. But early humans were actually master readers of their environment. They didn't just survive the night, they actively engineered it, and we have incredible archaeological proof of this. Over in South Africa's Sabulu Cave, researchers actually uncovered evidence of bedding that dates back an astonishing 77,000 years. This wasn't just some random pile of debris either. It was completely intentional, highly calculated, and honestly, deeply intelligent.
Even without a single wooden frame from a modern furniture store, early humans engineered their comfort in a very specific sequence. First, they'd intentionally pick out slightly elevated ground to make sure they stay dry. Second, they'd clear away any sharp stones by hand. And third, and this is where it really gets amazing, they gathered specific dry grasses and broad leaves to build these layered mats. But they didn't just grab whatever was closest. They actively chose specific aromatic plant species that were known to naturally repel insects while providing a solid barrier against the nighttime chill. I mean, that is pure Paleolithic engineering right there.
Section 3. The Forgotten Hearth Watch. Redefining waking up.
So how does all this ancient engineering actually apply to your life right now? Specifically, what about when your eyes suddenly pop wide open at 3 a.m.? In our modern world, we almost always label waking up in the middle of the night as a massive failure. We call it insomnia. We stress out over it. But your biological clock actually carries a much, much older memory. For millennia, humans practiced what's known as biphasic or polyphasic sleep. Basically, you'd naturally drift off as the sun dipped below the horizon, and then you would organically wake up for a quiet hour or so in the deep darkness. It completely wasn't a glitch, it was a feature.
During this waking hour, which we like to call the hearth watch, your ancestors practiced something called distributed vigilance. Just think about the sheer brilliance of this survival strategy. The group was never entirely unconscious at the exact same time. If a predator moved in the tall grass, or say the wind shifted dangerously, somebody was always awake to catch it. They were tending the fire, maybe checking on a sleeping kid, sharing a whispered story, and just generally listening to the world so the rest of the band could safely sleep.
Section 4. The Communal Cluster. The Safety of the Band.
This idea of distributed vigilance deeply influenced how early humans physically arranged themselves at night. Sleep was basically a team sport. You didn't sleep in some isolated room behind a locked wooden door. No, you slept shoulder to shoulder with your kin. You formed a protective circle right around the fading embers of the fire. And this wasn't just practically useful for, sharing body heat. It provided this profound sense of psychological safety. Imagine falling asleep to the rhythmic lullaby of a dozen people breathing in total unison. That sound communicated directly to your nervous system, telling you absolutely, without a doubt, that you belonged and you were protected.
Section 5. Reframing modern sleep anxiety. Your Paleolithic brain.
We can actually take all of this incredible ancient history and use it to comfort you tonight. Have you ever wondered why the darkness suddenly feels so vast and intimidating?
I mean, you're perfectly safe, right? You're inside a solid, modern house with locked doors. Yet seemingly out of nowhere, you get this sudden urge to pull your covers up super tight, or you catch yourself scanning the dark corners of your room. Why exactly does that happen?
Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. It is not modern anxiety. It's definitely not a malfunction of your mind. It is simply your Paleolithic brain doing exactly what it evolved to do over hundreds of thousands of years. It's the ancient, highly successful protective software of your mind kicking in, actively looking for the warm glow of the firelight and the physical reassurance of your band. We really need to cognitively reframe our nighttime struggles by flipping these negative modern labels into positive, totally life-saving historical adaptations. So that insomnia, it's really just your body trying to practice biphasic sleep and take the hearth watch. Sleep anxiety, well, that's distributed vigilance keeping your ancient ancestors alive. And the fear of the dark, that is just your deeply social brain seeking out the communal cluster. You aren't broken at all. You're just brilliantly adapted to a slightly older world.
Think about it like this. Every single cell in your body is the direct descendant of a survivor. You come from people who successfully rested on the earth and woke up to the dawn for 300,000 years. You are part of an unbroken line of sleepers who looked up at the exact same stars we see today, whether they were resting on tall grass, desert sand, or cool cavestone. Your body already knows exactly how to do this.
And here's a super comforting thought to take with you into tonight. Even though you're elevated on a mattress, inside a room, the earth beneath your house hasn't actually gone anywhere. It's still right there. It's patient, it's silent, and it's supporting you, exactly as it supported them for the missing 90% of our human journey. You carry their incredible resilience right there in your blood.
So I'll leave you with this final thought for the explainer. The next time you wake up in the quiet, absolute stillness of the night, don't panic. Will you let the ancient memory of the hearth guide you? Remember your ancestors standing watch? Just let go of that immense modern pressure to sleep perfectly in one single 8-hour block. Let your breathing become as steady as the tide, knowing that your Paleolithic brain is just doing its job, and simply rest.